Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your host BK from Let's Become Billionaires, and today we're going to be talking about Tesla stock. Now, Tesla just did a 5-for-1 stock split, and I made a video about Tesla a little while ago, so I want to make an update to that video. So guys, I hope you guys are ready to enjoy this one. Alright guys, so in the last video I made about Tesla stock, which I'll flag above, I said that Tesla is going to be a great purchase, and I said that Tesla is essentially going to join the S&P 500 after they get another quarter of profits, which they have. Tesla's going to have a stock rally, which they have, and I also mentioned that the stock is going to be, guys, not just a car company, but more than that. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today and expand on that, because I don't think some people understand where I'm coming from or what I'm trying to say. Now, in the comment section, people are asking me, hey, BK, is this stock overvalued or undervalued? I think it's overvalued. Here's my response to that, guys. And this is very important before we get into the depths of this video. Tesla stock, I think, is overvalued as a car business. Fortunately, they are not a car company, and people need to understand this. Let's look at their businesses really quickly. They have Tesla Insurance, they have the VPP, potentially a Robotaxi network, Autobidder, they have a semi-truck coming out, and they have solar, they have energy storage, they have batteries, and they also are probably going to become an electrical utility company in the future. So guys, in terms of that, right, when we look at all the businesses, we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is Tesla going to become, and is the price that Tesla's trading for right now attractive given what it's going to grow into? Because it's way too overvalued for a car company. We all know this, but it's not about cars. It's about what else they're going to do. However, on their car business, I do want to speak on a little bit right now. Guys, the car is going to increase their margins. That is a fact, because as the car becomes safer and once autonomous driving hits, there's going to be one day, 1 second when actually they can sell cars without a steering wheel, without any pedals, without a clutch, well, they don't sell clutches anymore anyway, but you know what I mean, without this, that, and the other. So, I mean, there's a lot of things they can do to increase their margins once they can take the driver away. That's important to realize. The next thing to realize is that the car is going to become a money-making machine. There's two ways to do this. I'm going to start off with the VPP. Then we're going to talk about how the car can be used like real estate. That one's a little bit confusing, but we'll get back on that in a second. In terms of the VPP is a virtual power plant. So what is that? A power plant is a place that creates energy for the grid. The grid is where homes get their energy from, right? So when you see cords along the highway or along a road, that is essentially the grid, and the power that supplies that grid comes from the power plant. Now today, the power plants are usually fossil fuels, coal, they use stuff like that to create energy. And the problem with that is a couple things. Number one, it's not clean. Number two, it's not efficient. And how is it not efficient? It's not efficient because when you use fossil fuels, guys, you're going to actually not be able to quickly shift your supply to the demand that is currently needed. So for example, let's say all of a sudden, for some reason, everybody turns on their lights and everybody starts using energy. Well, in that case, the power plant would want to create a higher supply. However, because you're using coal and you're using fossil fuels, this supply increase isn't instant. Because of this, power plants are always creating an excess amount of energy, roughly around 30%. And because there are power plants that are burning coal and fossil fuels, they're not able to store that energy. Once it's burned, it's burned. You have to use it instantly or you can't use it at all. On the other hand, with battery technology that Tesla is building and solar and all of that, Tesla's going to be able to actually instantly change your supply based on the demands of energy, and they're also not going to need to produce an excess amount of energy, or at least not that much of an excess, like 30% like the power plants do. Now, the VPP in particular is one aspect of this changing the power plants, guys. So one way they can do this is with their cars, they can actually say, hey, with the energy in your vehicle that you have on your battery, you can sell that energy to somebody else and make a profit. How would you do this? Well, you would charge your vehicle when it's dark out, when people aren't using that much energy and energy prices are the lowest. Then when people are using energy during the day, when it's in high demand and energy prices are trading for a higher price, you can sell your energy back into the grid by plugging your vehicle back in. Now, they were going to do this via their Autobidder software, but that's not too important. The point is the Autobidder software is going to be what actually sells your energy to somebody else. What's very important to realize is that the Tesla vehicle can do this via two ways. Number one is that you can actually buy the battery and the rights to the battery when you buy your Tesla car and keep those profits for yourself and maybe pay a small fee to Tesla. Or you can have a reduction of, let's say, 10 grand to your car when you purchase it, and the battery rights are reserved by Tesla. So let's say you go with the latter and the battery rights are reserved by Tesla. When you plug in your car into the VPP and you sell your energy to somebody else, Tesla's going to be able to collect the revenues from that and the profits. Now you might say, well, BK, why would somebody want to connect their vehicle into the VPP if they're not profiting from it? Why would they sell energy to somebody else? The reason is because there might be a contractual obligation to actually do this, because guys, when you actually buy a car, right, and let's say you get $10,000 off the car, Tesla might say, hey, you're getting $10,000 off the car, but we need to still make money off this battery. So you have to plug in your car for, let's say, X amount of hours per week. And so you plug in your car, Tesla somehow takes that energy and sells it. The other thing that can happen is, again, the first way, guys, is to actually buy the battery. And when you put your energy on the VPP, you profit the difference from when you got the energy put into your car, which is usually a low rate at night, versus the the price at which you sell that energy for. All right, guys, the second way that Tesla's going to be able to use their car to actually generate revenue is to sell their cars and treat them like real estate properties. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say Tesla sells a car, and of course, we want to keep in mind that they're going to be creating a Robotaxi network. So again, let's say Tesla sells a car. After Tesla sells that car, a consumer might use it for, let's say, 8 to 10 years, and then they get bored of the car, they want a new car. Well, Tesla's going to be able to buy back those cars for, let's say, 20 grand or 15 grand, whatever it might be. Then Tesla's going to be able to put those cars out as part of its fleet, and so they get two sources of revenue. They get the revenue from selling the car initially. Then they also get the revenue from actually putting that car out onto the market, sort of like an Uber. And what's great is, guys, if you look at Ark Investment's estimates, what you see is that it only takes about 22 cents a mile to drive a car, and you could charge somebody, let's say, $1 a mile. So now you're profiting about 80 cents per mile that you drive somebody. And guys, I'll put the numbers up right now on top of your screen of the average miles somebody travels a day. And if somebody travels those miles, they use the Robotaxi network, and all that revenue goes into a car, then you subtract the cost of 22 cents per mile, then what you see is that Tesla's actually making a buttload of money and a great return on its investment of buying the car back for, let's say, 50 grand on average. So guys, the reason I say this is like buying real estate for Tesla is because just like real estate, you're going to be buying a property. In this case, Tesla's going to be buying the car. Then they rent it out, and in this case, rent it out means let other people use it to get from point A to point B via the Robotaxi network. And that way they can generate huge revenues. The margins are extremely high, and they get revenue on a car twice instead of just once. The next thing, though, in terms of their business, guys, is what are they going to be building next? I think they're going to be building things that people aren't even thinking about, such as jet skis, such as boats, such as cargo ships, such as trains. There's kind of in the middle of building the semi-truck right now, based on what I know. Police vehicles, though, SWAT, military, right? They're going to be building stuff like that. I don't know if I mentioned airplanes yet, but airplanes. These are all very important things that Tesla can get into, because Tesla's goal is to make everything sustainable and renewable. So they're not going to just stop at cars. We're looking at all this and we're saying, guys, Tesla's going to stop at cars. No, they're not. So when people say in my YouTube videos, oh, is Tesla overvalued? It depends what you mean by, is Tesla overvalued? Is Tesla overvalued based on the car business? Yes. Is Tesla overvalued as an overall business? Honestly, I don't think so, but I also don't know, because I think it might be, I think the price is a little bit high for where they're at right now, but I think eventually they'll become a $1 trillion company. So there's like 5 times upside on this stock, I believe, in the next decade. However, there's a lot of risk as well. So keep in mind, I am just giving this video, I'm putting this video out for educational purposes and for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a licensed investor or a professional investor. But that being said, guys, when I look at Tesla, I see the future. When I look at Tesla, I see things that aren't even imaginable. So when it comes to the VPP, guys, using your car to make money, to sell energy to other people, if they can do that, imagine what they can do to trains, imagine what they can do to airplanes, right? And if we think about, for example, airplanes too, I feel like it's a lot easier to make an autopilot airplane that just drives itself or flies itself a lot safer than humans fly airplanes than it to make autopilot cars. And we're getting to the point where the batteries are almost cost efficient enough to actually be able to create airplanes with them. The last thing I want to mention, guys, that people aren't really realizing, and you need to realize this right now, the battery that Tesla uses, the cost curve for that battery is declining at a very fast rate, meaning soon, if you get 2 equivalent cars, the car with the battery is going to be cheaper. Why? Because the cost curve is going down, and ICE vehicles, well, they're pretty much as low as they can get. Factor that in. So next, I always hear people, guys, I always hear people say,
Teslas are way too expensive.
I mean, even today, you can buy a Model 3 for 35 grand, which isn't that much. But they're not even considering the fact that already a electric car has a better cost savings than a gas car, meaning if you buy a Tesla, you're actually going to be saving a lot of money over the long term. Second thing is, soon they will actually be cheaper in the first place to buy up front. And number three, ladies and gentlemen, is that even if you build the same kind of car, one's electric, one's gas, okay, the electric car is going to be faster. It's going to accelerate better. It's going to handle smoother. It's going to be quieter. It's going to have more space. It's going to have a frunk. It's going to have a trunk. It's going to have all of that. And it's going to have the Tesla software. So guys, let's be real. Tesla's the winner here. Tesla's a great stock. I think Tesla's going to be a buy, but I don't want to tell people to buy it because, of course, anything can change. There's a wasp around me, and I don't like that. If I get stung, guys, RIP to me. But for real, though, I think Tesla's going to be a buy. I think Tesla's a great stock, and I think that people need to start looking at it and keep looking at it and change your perspective on whether or not it's a car company. It's not a car company. It's a brand new electric utility company that sells cars that's probably going to expand into other things as well. Guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please smash the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button down below, and remember, guys, to comment down below. Bye-bye, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.